Good morning again. Welcome to the studio at the WuQi Clinic in Westbourne. And it's rather nippy in here because quite rightly the clinic has decided to turn the heating off in the studio because no one's able to use it apart from a few people like me who are doing Facebook or Zooming sessions from the studio. Anyway, at the moment I'm using the microphone built into my tablet. Cheers, I need a warm drink. And I'm going to have a go with a lapel microphone, which I think I have cracked at long last. Oh, I can see two people watching. Excellent, great. Don't know who you are yet. As you can hear, this room is quite echoey, and when I'm close to the tablet microphone, it usually means that I'm still nicely audible. I'm going to plug in the lapel mic now, so there'll be a little bit of crackling, not the sort you get with pork, but anyway, that's a terrible joke. And hopefully, after the crackling, I will be a lot louder, there'll be less echo, and hopefully I have cracked it. So we'll just pop that in. So hopefully you can still hear me. You might even have to turn the volume down, because I know when I've done Zoom sessions with this lapel mic, people have said, "Oh, blimey, it's loud and noisy." Anyway, as I move further away from the screen, sadly, if you make any comments and it appears on the screen, I'll be too far away to see those comments. But after the session, I will be able to have a look and see what you're saying. And hopefully you're not saying, "Can't hear a thing you're saying, Kim." Anyway, let's start with our continuing theme, ever present, of keeping it simple. So let's just see if... Oh, I look rather silhouetted now, don't I? That's no good. How am I going to illuminate the front of me? Well, we'll just have to see how things go. Don't like this. I thought I'd set it up, but now the day's getting a bit brighter. Let's just turn us round so we don't have brightness behind me. And, that looks a bit better. Much better. There we are. So we've got a nice white wall, but not illumination. That's much better. There we are. I can see me, which means you can see me. Now, these movements are usually performed standing. If you have any problems with weight bearing, hips, knees, ankles, back, or simply balance, you don't have to do the movements. So just sit down on a chair, nicely upright. Instead of your feet touching the earth, feel the sitting bones on the firm chair and use the sitting bones in your bottom as your feet, as your connection to the earth. And even if you can't actually make the physical movements, close your eyes, use your mind to feel the movements in your body. Hear my voice, maybe even look at the images, but use your mind to do the movements if your body can't physically do the movements. That is so important. So, let's arrive. I'm not going to do the usual side-to-side swings today because there are two exercises I'd really like to do today in this short half-hour session. And so, feet on the ground, bottom on the chair. Acknowledge and accept the support the earth gives you. It's always there. Feel how you touch the earth. Feel the soles of your feet. Feel your heels sinking into the earth. Feel the balls of your toes sinking into the earth. One little refinement for standing is to very, very gently push your knees slightly outwards so you feel that line of hard skin from the base of the little toe down to the heel on the outer edge of each foot. If you push too hard, the ball of the big toe starts lifting off the ground. You're weakening your roots. So it's a very subtle movement. And then take your attention to the crown of the head. Let that imaginary puppet string draw you upwards. Again, I say it every time we do a class, but it's so important. Remember that the tension in the back of the neck can bring the nose up so you're snooty, so you start looking down the world, down your nose at the world. So just tuck the chin in. That's it. Head hanging from the sky, spine hanging from the head. Wriggling, fidgeting. Whenever tension builds up, wriggle, fidget. It's not something bad. Allow the body to say, I need to move. I need to let my chi move. If it's in your neck and shoulders, rolling the neck, rolling the shoulders, lifting them, letting them drop. If the arms feel a bit stiff, give them a shake. My own body locks up in the small of the back. That's where I hold a lot of my tension. So tuck the tailbone in, tilt the pelvis, tuck the tailbone in, but don't hold it, let go. Tuck it in, let go. Or just simply wiggle the hips. That's it. Knees are soft. Not bent so you lose height, not locked backwards. Arms just hanging. Eyes resting on that distant horizon. Not looking at the horizon. You're not interested in what's out there, you're simply seeing it. And if the mind wanders and takes your attention up to the sky, smile at it, be kind to that mind, but just say, come on, back to the horizon. If it looks down at the earth and sees a bit of dust or fluff or a cobweb somewhere, smile at it and say, you can deal with that later. Just bring that soft gaze back up to the horizon. Let the face soften. When you soften the muscles in the face, you can't help but smile. That's it. And then notice your breath. If you're somewhere where the air is cold, you might notice the breath at the tip of the nose or the back of your mouth. The cold air coming in and hitting the back of the mouth, even going down the windpipe. If you're in a nice room, it's harder to feel warm air going in and out of the body. Maybe you feel the chest moving, the belly moving. What tells you the chest is moving and the belly is moving? Clothes getting a bit tighter as you breathe in, a little looser as you breathe out. Be careful not to let the breath become greedy. When we notice the breath, we begin to breathe deeper. If the belly becomes tight and tense, soften the breathing. If the image of a nose in the belly just below the tummy button is useful to you, use it. Bypass the nose and the face. Breathe straight into the nose and the belly. Each breath in fills the belly up like a big balloon. Each breath out lets the belly empty. That's good. Lazy, soft breathing. Breathing in oxygen, energy, chi. Each breath in, recharging, refueling. Breathing out, carbon dioxide, waste, anything you currently have no need of. Breathing out simply to create space for the next breath in. All the time the earth supporting through the soles of your feet. All the time the sky hook lightening you, lengthening you. Taking the weight of your head off your shoulders. That puppet string lightens, lengthens, takes the weight off the weight-bearing joints in the legs. Now, from this basic standing WuQi position, receiving position, just place the palms of your hands directly on your belly. Okay. Now my jargon is that below the tummy button is the belly. Above the tummy button is the tummy. So just resting one hand alongside or on top of the other, wherever your shoulders feel comfortable. So you can physically feel the belly filling with each breath in. Feel how the belly pushes your hands out. As you breathe out, the belly softens and empties your hands. Follow the movement of the belly. Now, next stage is to just bring your hands a little bit further away. 6 inches, 9 inches. There are different ways of doing this. If you practice Qigong with other teachers, there may be slightly different ways. But imagine you have a great big Buddha belly, a pot belly, and your hands are resting on that lovely pot. You can still feel the breath. Each time you breathe in, that pot belly fills up and pushes your hands out. Each time you breathe out, that pot belly empties and your hands drop back. Soft breathing. Doesn't have to be much movement. Doesn't have to be any movement. It may be that all you do is feel the belly filling, becoming a little tighter. Feel the belly emptying, becoming a little softer. If the shoulders begin to tighten, wriggle, fidget. All the time, breathing in, filling the belly, breathing out, letting the belly empty. If the rhythm of your hands seems to change from the rhythm of your breath, again, smile. Accept it. Allow the body's wisdom to flow through words stuck in my mouth. That's lovely. That's lovely. Easy, soft breathing. The belly fills, pushes your hands out. The belly empties, your hands drop back. Notice that tiny moment of stillness between the end of an in-breath and the beginning of an out-breath. Notice that tiny moment of stillness between the end of an out-breath and the beginning of an in-breath. You don't have to create it. It's always there. You just have to notice it. So many moments of stillness in a day's breathing. Now, we're going to move on to a slight variation of this. Slide your hands either side of that big pot belly and just bring it out, away from your body. This is now the ball of Qi between the palms of your hands. Your ball of Qi. And maybe you can still feel the rhythm of the breath in the ball between your hands. As you breathe in, the ball fills up. As you breathe out, the ball empties. If the mind is skeptical this morning, use your skills, the mind skills, to make that ball as real as possible. Give it a colour. Let your mind's eye see it. Feel the texture against the palms of your hands. Let your mind feel it. Give the ball a buoyancy. Fill it with helium. Allow that ball between the palms of your hands to support your hands, to support your arms. All the time, the soles of the feet receiving support, confidence, stability from the earth. All the time, the sky above your head, sending down that sky hook, that puppet string, that golden thread, to lighten, lengthen, extend. That's lovely. Now we're going to practice two rather more formal Qigong movements. They come from a series called the Badwan Jin, the 8 Fine Treasures. If you practice Qigong, there are lots and lots of series of 8 exercises called the Badwan Jin. They come from around China, from around the Far East. They vary, some more martial, some more meditative, but they have generic similarities. So this lovely ball between the palms of your hand is going to be very well behaved and trained. Let the rhythm begin to cease. Just use a little power in your shoulders to allow that rhythm between the palms of the hands to stop. Slide one hand on top. Now I'm going to turn slightly to one side because I think you get more of an idea as to where my hands are at that 45-degree angle to the camera. Now, we're going to let go of this ball between the palms of our hands, and it's going to be so well behaved it will just stay floating there while we do other things with our hands. This lower hand is going to turn palm down, fingers forwards. This upper hand, palm up, fingers back. That's good. Now, imagine a tray resting on that upturned hand. And on that tray, something really fragile, precarious. When I first started this exercise, I used to imagine a couple of tall, elegant, cut glass champagne flutes handed down through 2 or 3 generations from Great Aunt Ada. Now, it's usually something a little bit more precious, but you can create anything on that upturned hand and see how far you can lift that precious object up. I'm noticing my hands disappearing off the screen, so I'm just going to move back slightly, give you a little bit more vision. And there'll come a point, it might be pain in your shoulder, it might be the flexibility of your wrist, it might simply be your mind saying, I'm going to drop that precious object, but there's a point where you can go no further. And at that point, this lower hand connects with a big rock sticking out of the earth coming up to meet that lower hand to give you the confidence to raise up and support that precious object. And when you can go no higher, just pause, let that image disappear. The hands turn round to reconnect with the ball of Qi floating in front of you. Lower hand slides on top, upper hand slides underneath. A little wriggle of the shoulders to release any tension that built up. And we repeat the movement the other way. So your lower hand turns palm down, fingers forwards. Your upper hand, palm up, fingers back. Let that tray appear on that upturned hand. Let that precious object appear. Not too heavy. This isn't about power. This is about poise and stability, raising, lifting that precious object, supporting that precious object. And when you need help, when you can go no further and you need help, that lower hand receives the support and help from the earth and allows you to hold that precious object up a little higher. Let the image disappear. Hands reconnect with the ball of Qi. Lower hand slides on top. Upper hand slides underneath. Lower hand palm down, fingers forwards. Upper hand palm up, fingers back. That waiter position, tray resting on that upturned hand, precious object on that upturned on that tray, lifting, 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 and when you need help, it's there. That rock, something, someone to lean on. The earth gives you that support. And then allow the precious object image to disappear. Reconnect with the ball of Qi. Slide your hands round. Little wriggle, always a little wriggle to release the spine, release the neck and the shoulders. Lower hand palm down, fingers forwards. Upper hand palm up, fingers back. Just enough time to create that precious object resting on your upturned hand. Lifting, lifting, whether physical or in the mind. When you feel you can go no further, that lower hand receive support from the earth, that rock beneath your hand, and let the image disappear. Palms reconnect with the ball of Qi, sliding either side this time. Let the elbows drop. Make sure the sky hook is still keeping you fully extended. Soft breathing in the belly. Just letting the ball between the palms of your hands support your hands, support your arms. And then slide your hands on top. No need to push. Gravity takes that ball of Qi down. And just let the arms hang. Soft breathing in the belly. We're now back in the basic WuQi position. Earth supporting us through the soles of our feet. Sky supporting us through that puppet string at the crown of the head. Arms just hanging. If the chest wants to move, letting it. But our attention is down on the belly. Breathing in through the nose and the belly, recharging, releasing. And have a little wriggle and a little fidget. That's good. Now, how is our time getting on? It's just about coming up to that half-hour slot. Before we finish, just a little jiggling. So, backs of the wrists on the small of the back. And imagine that puppet string, someone up there, way above your head, has started listening to some music and they start jiggling you. There we are, just letting the body be shaken from the crown of the head. It's very gentle. We don't want to stir the Qi up at the moment, but just loosening anything that might have got a little stuck. Some things have been stuck for many years and they won't get unstuck. But we can give the opportunity for letting stuck Qi, stuckness, loosen. We can give the opportunity for letting rubbish loosen. Maybe there's a bit of rubbish sitting in a knee, a bit of rust, and the shaking, just allowing that to soften, to flow around the body. That's it. More importantly, shaking loose a little bit of useful Qi. Bit of Qi underneath the shoulder blades, base of the skull. Valuable energy. It's not bad, we don't want to get rid of it, we just want it to flow to where it's more useful. All the time, that puppet string at the crown of the head, just jiggling. That's good. And then to finish, let that jiggling, that movement get a little less, a little less, a little less. Half by half by half. It doesn't stop. It simply becomes smaller and smaller and smaller until it disappears. Keep the hands resting on the small of your back. Make sure the puppet string has lengthened you again. Take your attention to the breath. Use the out breath to breathe out any waste you've shaken loose. Use the in breath to draw that useful Qi down into the belly, into the storehouse. Training that Qi to be ready to go where you need it. Not letting it get bored and go back to its old default patterns. Now the hands can hang. And now that ritual
of just lifting our roots, getting ready to leave this space. Whether you're watching this live streaming at 8:30 on Monday morning, or whether you watch this later on today, later on in the week, we're sharing space. You're here, I'm here. And at the end, just shift your weight over to one side, pull your roots out of the earth very gently, don't damage them. Little shake, little flick, getting ready to put them down somewhere else. Might be the same room, but you're stopping watching this video. Might be moving to another house, another room in the house. There we are. That's it. That is the end of our little session of live streaming, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it tempts you to do some WuQi standing at any point in front of a window where you're looking out at the world, by the kitchen sink. You don't need to spend a long time practicing WuQi standing, just 2 or 3 breaths. And on that point, I'm going to have to put my glasses on so I can see the controls on this little iPad. And I might see you next week. Certainly while there are no classes, I shall be Zooming at 8:30 from the WOW studio every Monday morning. All the best. Bye-bye.